All right, guys, welcome to Wayne's World Garage. It's Thursday. What happened? Happy Hump Day. That's all right. Too many AI videos, so I haven't been putting out a lot of videos. I can't compete with them. We're heading to Pennsylvania. We're going to see Brandon today. E-Freightas, E-P-H-R-A-T-A-P-A. It's 100 and some odd miles away. And we're taking the trailer and my wife's electric truck. We're picking up a new engine for the sawmill. It's a Detroit diesel 471. Let's see how that thing works. It's totally rebuilt. And with any luck, we'll have it up and running at the sawmill in no time. But that's a story. You guys have a good day. We'll see how the road trip goes. All right, here we are. We're at Diesel Engine Services in Ephrata. I probably said that wrong. Pennsylvania. We're here to pick up the 471 Detroit diesel with Brandon. And I already love this place. I see John Deere tractors, but I see a lot of Detroit diesel engines. How cool is that? Let's move on and see what we got. Right, here we are in Pennsylvania. It's Ephrata. Ephrata. Now I know how to say it because I didn't say it right before. And this is Brandon. And we're here to pick up a Detroit diesel 471 engine, which your father or one of your grandfather has totally rebuilt. And we're not just talking a can of spray paint. We're talking new liners, new rings, you know, new bearings. It's a totally rebuilt engine. And Brandon's been more than helpful helping us out because we're a bunch of worrywarts, and it's not our money. It's friends of the nonprofits' money. They give us a lot of money. That's a lot of money for an engine. Mm-hmm. It is for us. So that's what we're doing now. Is we're here to pick up the engine, and we want to thank Brandon for helping us answer all our dumb questions, which are probably pretty crazy. And they got a lot of engines here. This is a Detroit diesel in this. It's a GM powered. Check this Oliver out. And it's got a 353
371.
A 371, okay. Yep. And 371, just for you guys that don't know it, it's a 3-cylinder, 71 cubic inches per cylinder.
Somebody else painted the tractor, but it had stuck injectors.
Did it run away?
Yeah, it was wanting to run away when the guy started it, but we got them unstuck and put new rebuilt injectors in.
So, we run a 471 at our local fair. I sent you a video of that. And Pete, has told me a little bit, hold the rack all the way back till we get oil pressure, and then let go of the rack and it fires up. If you have a stuck injector,
it's the whole way in. The rack is the whole way full fuel.
Yeah, so there's nothing I can do about it.
Nothing you can do.
But the flapper on the intake manifold, I call it the intake manifold.
Yeah.
Ours, I don't think works at the fairgrounds, but I want to see how yours works also.
The Oliver doesn't have a flap either, so he was ready. It had been parked for several years before he went into his shed and started it, and he was ready with the intake pipe off, and his friend had a board to suffocate.
So they're ready to suffocate it.
Because he suspected it could run away.
Okay. I didn't catch all the video, so we're going to fast forward a little bit here. But Tim did a great job, and Brandon did a great job, loaded this onto our trailer, and we're off to Maryland. Now we have to unload it at Maryland at the park. Well, here we are. We're at Kinder Farm Park. We made it with the new Detroit diesel 471. And Pete's our co-pilot. And Bill's here checking us out, and Darren. And now we get to unload this thing. Stop the bullshitting and unload this son of a gun. Yes, sir. We had an uneventful drive back to Maryland. It took about 30 minutes to recharge my wife's Rivian, the R1T, with a Tesla supercharger. Charges at 200 kilowatts per hour. Outstanding. And now we're back in Maryland, and we've got the brain trust here. We've got Pete, we've got Darren, we've got myself. Tim's there to help, showed up, and Alan's there. Thank you guys for all showing up. And let's try and work on figure out how we're going to get this off the trailer. The big question is, and I wasn't sure of this, Pete was more confident than I was, the tractor, which is a Ford Tiger Special, can easily pick up this machine. Well, I don't know about easily, but I was a little bit more worried about it than Pete was. So I was thinking at first, why don't we just slide it off the back of the trailer because I can tip the trailer back. Well, that didn't work out so well. So we put it back, and I forked it. Then we pulled the trailer forward, and then we kind of loaded it and put it away. It turned out to be pretty straightforward and pretty easy. Unlike a real forklift, you can't see the forks from the cab or where the tractor driver sits. Additionally, when you lower it, it tilts forward. You got to be super careful with this, which I am. So who knows what Wayne's number one rule when operating forks on either a forklift or a tractor? It's easy. Keep the load as low as possible. And this tractor is difficult because you cannot see the forks. You can stand up, sit down, x-ray vision. I'm thinking about maybe putting a camera on it. Regardless, you've got to be super careful because the forks are hard to see. And you've got to keep the load as low as possible. So if it gets tippy, just drop it down and let it go.
Hold on.
Sorry, John, you're skimming the grass right now.
Okay.
So you may need about another 2 inches up.
I want to keep it as low as possible.
I know, that's good.
Kodak moment.
Well, believe it or not, Wayno's driving this tractor about as slow as I possibly can. It's idling as low as it can. It's in low range. It's in first gear. And I've got to do this in 2 moves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim it so the power takeoff is lined up in the same direction it needs to be when we install this engine on the new concrete pad we put in. So I'm going to set it down here. And I'm going super, super careful. Line the tractor up and fork the power unit from the radiator side. Hopefully then I can lift it up with the tractor. I'm not quite sure because this is a heavy load and the heaviest part of this engine is on the power takeoff side. That power takeoff I bet you weighs 500 pounds. So it gets a little bit heavy, but it works out pretty well.
I'm going to put it this way.
Well, you can't see it very well, and I wasn't in a position to get off the tractor and take pictures of it. But the way this front end loader works on this with these forks is it's extremely close to the radiator side sheet metal on this engine as we push it forward and load it up. I want the forks as far underneath this as it can possibly be. So I'm about a 1/4 inch away, a little bit closer than I'd like. So I kind of make sure I'm going to tip this thing up right away and we'll go from there and see if it'll pick it up. Believe it or not, this is kind of nerve-wracking. I'm going to lift this guy up about 2 or 3 inches off the ground at the most, and I want to slowly go forward. And we're going to put it in position parallel to the old Minneapolis molding engine, and it will set it down. Once we're done, and I get this thing on the ground pretty much in the position, I'll be able to breathe a big sigh of relief. Whew! And it works out pretty well. Thanks everyone for helping. Success. So Darren, part of the team, we got this 2,500 pound behemoth down here. Tim, thanks for showing up. Alan, Pete, everyone here. She's a good looking engine, that's for sure. Well, here's a good picture of this beauty, and she is a beauty. We still have a lot of work to do. And I've got a whole bunch more videos. I took a lot of videos at Brandon's shop up there in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. So stand by, not tonight, maybe tomorrow night. I'm going to put a bunch more videos. They have a fantastic shop. They have more Detroit diesels than I've ever seen in one spot in my life. It's incredible. So I'll be doing a couple more videos soon. Take care. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.